Hello again and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to restore this trashed LG G6 smartphone and then I'm going to see what it can do in 2021. As you can see, this phone has both its back glass and the screen shattered, so I need to order a new screen and a new back glass. The phone didn't initially show any signs of life and I was worried it has more damage than this screen. However, later I left it charging for a while and it actually powered up. The problem was that the touch didn't work at all. It seemed to register taps and touches everywhere, which probably was due to the screen being badly shattered. So at this point I knew that the phone worked, at least there was some life in it, and it was probably worth to buy the new back cover and new screen. The back cover was glued on this phone like usually, but despite being cracked, it was quite easy to separate from the phone after applying some heat. After that there's some screws, and after that there's some shielding or these black plastic things containing the wireless charging module and the speakers. The battery was attached to the phone with what looked like double-sided adhesive. It was quite strong, but I was able to remove the battery without bending it too much. After unplugging some flex cables and taking out the SIM card tray, the motherboard lifted out of the phone, and after that I could lift out the USB board, which was held on by double-sided adhesive. There was some dirt in the USB-C connector, so I decided to clean most of that out, and after that I could move into taking off the faulty screen itself. I used heat to soften up the glue and then just a plastic prying tool. There was only glue along the edges of the glass. The LCD itself wasn't glued to the frame, which actually makes this one of the easier phones to change a screen. I wanted to be a little bit more careful though, since I wanted to try to save at least the LCD screen and maybe later separate the glass from it and put a new one and see if the old screen would then work. Since the screen was so badly shattered, it left behind much small glass bits and adhesive, which I needed to carefully strip out of the frame. I did not want to remove the battery at first, since it can easily damage it, but I needed to do that because I saw that the phone's frame was badly bent and it was difficult to bend it back into correct shape, with the battery on. So I applied some heat and then slowly working on the battery with different prying tools I was eventually able to lift it out of the frame. After bending back the frame as straight as I could, I applied some glue to first install the earpiece grill before moving on to installing the new screen. I applied glue both on the edges of the frame and on the back of the LCD itself, because I don't trust that the screen would stay on the phone for a long time if I would only apply glue on the edges like it was originally. After passing the display flex cable through the frame, it was time to insert the USB board and the motherboard back on the phone. After installing the motherboard, I installed the battery back onto the frame, and after that the black pieces which contain the wireless charging module and the other that contains the speaker. To test the phone, I set the new back glass on the phone but didn't yet secure it with any glue, since the touch and cameras and everything seemed to be working on the phone. I decided it would be good for permanent installation. The only thing I couldn't get working at all was the fingerprint sensor on the back glass. Since I replaced it with the new back glass, I tried the old one, but that didn't seem to make the fingerprint work either. After researching about this issue, I found out that it's a common one with these phones. I put a really thin thermal pad where there had been either a pad or something similar on the phone, and after that I reassembled it and installed the new back glass permanently with its included adhesive strips. Now that both the screen and back glass are on place, I applied some rubber bands on the phone to keep it in one piece while the glue dries. After a day, the glue had dried up and I could test the phone. It seemed to work okay. The phone had the Android 9 update, but not an update to Android 10. PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile seemed to work perfectly on this phone, but Fortnite seemed to be a bit too much for this phone. It worked, but the FPS wasn't good enough and it wasn't really nice to play.